So today we are going to start with the illustration number 14 on page number 17.25. Give the journal entries to rectify the following errors using suspense account where necessary. So first transaction that is given is goods of value of 2000 returned by Mr. Gupta were entered in the sales book. So the goods were rupees 2000 which were returned by Gupta. So what is this type of return called as? Is it purchase return or sales return?
Goods returned by Gupta is sales return.
Sales return. But where did they record it? In the sales book. Sales return should be in sales return book. Instead of that in sales book it got recorded. And it was posted therefrom to credit of his account. So when there is a sales return, we pass the entry of sales return account debit to Gupta account. Correct? So what's the correct entry? Sales return account debit to Gupta account. So Gupta account is supposed to be credited. What happened here? Sales return should have been debited. Instead of that, what happened? They recorded it in the sales book, which means sales got credited. But while posting it from the sales book, they posted to credit of his account. So the credit has gone correctly to Gupta account. The problem here lies that you did not give a debit to sales return, and as it was entered in the sales book, what happened? The sales got credited. So to rectify it, what are we supposed to do? First thing, it's a sales return. So we have to debit the sales return account with 2000. So debit is created for the sales return. As it was entered in the sales book, it got credited to sales account. That has to be nullified. Nullification is done by giving it a debit. So we would debit sales account and we would credit suspense account with the double the amount. That is 4000 here. Gupta's account is not involved here because when the correct entry was supposed to be passed, Gupta account was to be credited. And when the entry was made to the wrong book also, they posted to credit of Gupta only. So Gupta account, there is no problem at all. So Gupta account is not involved here at all. Is it clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
So the narration is goods returned wrongly entered in sales book, now rectified.
So did suspense account take Gupta's place?
Gupta's account is not involved. There is no problem with Gupta account at all. That is why we cannot involve Gupta account. And here, from the question only, you know that you can use suspense account. So the other effect goes to suspense account. There is a difference in the trial balance which has been put into suspense account. So to now close out the suspense account, we have to identify the errors and pass entries so that the suspense account balance would get nullified. Here, if you see, both the adjustment that you have to make is debit sales return and debit sales account. Then the other effect will go to the suspense account. Okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Go to the next one. Goods worth rupees 1500 bought by the proprietor for personal use. So this was bought for personal use of the proprietor. without any payment being made as it. So still payment is not made for it. It was wrongly entered in purchase book. So wrongly entered in purchase book means which account would have been debited? When it goes through purchase book, the debit goes to which account?
Could you repeat?
When a transaction goes through the purchase book, the debit goes to which account in the ledger?
Debit is purchases.
Correct. So as it was wrongly entered in purchase book, debit has gone to purchases. But actually these goods were bought with the intention of being used for personal use. So when it's personal use, which account should be debited?
Drawings account.
Drawings was not debited. We debit it now. And as it was wrongly entered in purchase book, purchase account got debited. That is to be nullified by giving a credit. We do this to purchases account. Got it? Clear, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
So the narration is goods bought for personal use entered in purchases book, now rectified. Once you're done, let me know, then we'll go to the next. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go to the next. A check for 500 received from Ashok was dishonored and has been posted to debit of sales return account. So when a check is received from Ashok, it means that Ashok was the business debtor. So he had a debit balance. So when the check was received, we would have passed the entry bank account debit to Ashok account. So on receiving the check, this would have been the entry passed. But when we deposited the check into bank, the bank was unable to collect the check and the check was said to be dishonored. So now what happens when check is dishonored? We will have to reverse this entry. We'll have to bring in back Ashok into our books as a debtor. So we will have to debit Ashok. When we debit Ashok, we are bringing him into the books with a debit balance showing that amount is receivable from Ashok. Got it? Are you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
But what happened? When the check was dishonored, they posted by debiting sales return. So sales return account got debited, which is wrong. It is not sales return. It is a check being dishonored. So there's a wrong debit to sales return. The actual debit should have gone to Ashok. So to rectify it, we will give debit to Ashok, and we will have to nullify this debit to sales return by giving it a credit. So like this, we record the rectification entry of Ashok account debit to sales return. Clear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Next transaction. Can I go to the next?
yes, ma'am.
Go to the fourth transaction, which is the total of one page of sales book. It's carried forward to next page as rupees 680 instead of 860. So sales book total goes to the credit of which account? Sales book total.
Sales book. 1 second. Total of one page of sales books. It goes to the sales account.
Sales account, correct. So it should go to the credit. So actually how much is gone in? 680. Because while writing from one page to other page, they wrote amount 860 was the total. The next page when they brought it forward, they wrote as 680. So further when you carry it forward and you will total it, you would have taken 680. Actually you should have taken 860 here. So what has happened? 860 minus 680. 180 rupees has gone short here. So you have to include 180. So here 180 is, the sales total is less by 180. So what should you do? You should increase the amount of 180 in sales. So sales, do you debit or credit to increase it?
Ma'am, so it's been. So if you have credited 680,
We have to
we
credit
need to
sales.
increase that.
Correct.
So we need
Because
to further credit another 180.
very good, correct. So sales is credited with just 680, but it should have been credited with 860. So we have to further credit 180 so that it becomes 860. So we will be crediting sales by the difference of 180. So that it comes to the required 860. The other effect goes to suspense account. Is it clear to everybody? Rashish clear? Suraj clear?
Yeah.
Wrong carry forward of total of sales book now rectified. Now the last transaction of this question, an item of 500 relating to prepaid insurance account was omitted to be brought forward from previous year's book. So what has happened here is, in the previous year, prepaid insurance account had a balance. Now, prepaid insurance means what? Insurance has been paid in advance. Last year only it was paid, but it relates to the current year. So what is related to current year, we will not take it as expense. We will keep it in the balance sheet on the asset side under the head prepaid insurance. That when we open the new year, next year accounts book, we'll bring the balances which are there. We'll look at the balance sheet and write all those balances. On the asset side items would have all debit balance. The liability side items would have credit balance, and that way we bring forward the balances from the previous year books into the current year books. While doing that, by mistake, this prepaid insurance account of 500 was not brought forward. So what should we do now? We should record it. Prepaid insurance account is an asset. So asset has which balance? Who can tell me? Debit or credit?
Prepaid insurance account. Prepaid insurance will be debited.
Debited, correct. Because it's an asset account. It has a debit balance. And in the opening entry when we pass, we debit all the assets, credit the liabilities and capital. So that in that opening entry, we forgot to write the prepaid insurance. So now we do it by giving a debit. Prepaid insurance account debit 500 to suspense account 500, and that's done. The error has been rectified. Prepaid insurance omitted to be brought forward from previous year, now rectified. So clear, everybody? Any doubts
Yes.
in this question? No doubts?
Ma'am, no.
Then we'll move forward to the next question. It's illustration 15 on page number 17.26. Go to page number 17.26, illustration number 15. I've sent it in the group. Look at that question. Rectify the following errors identified in the books of Dutt. The trial balance did not match. 14,930 being excess credit. So when you prepare trial balance and total the debit and credit, credits at total was more by 14,930, which means it will be like this. You have debit and credit. This total is more by 14,930. So this would be less. So we will write 14,930 here so that it also comes up to this level. So suspense account would be having a debit balance of 14,930. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Balance did not match and 14,930 being excess credit means suspense account has a debit balance. The difference was placed in suspense account. Now we are going to treat each one of those items, rectify those errors, and we'll also prepare the suspense account. So first thing, an amount of 100 was received from Das amount received 100 from Das on 31st of March 22, but was entered in cash book. Entered in cash book on 4th of April 2022. So now what has happened here? There was money received from that. And therefore, we should have recorded it in the month of March. We received it on 31st March, 100. But when did we enter it? In the cash book, 4th of April, which means in current year book, we did not record it. We recorded it in the next year. Okay. So what we have to do? It should have got recorded in the current year. So we pass an entry. What would be the entry? Amount of 100 was received from Das, nothing specified. So cash or bank account debit, because I'm not very clear whether it is a check or a cash. So I'm writing that to be on the safer side to Das account. Now, this way we have recorded this particular cash receipt. But the problem is they did record this transaction, but in the next year's book, in the cash book entry is there. So you write a note for that. What is to be done is, as we have passed the entry as on 31st March, we will have to reverse the entry in the cash book in the month of April. So how do we do that? In the cash book on the receipt side, we have written as to Das. How to rectify that, how to reverse that? We have to give a credit. So on the payment side or on the credit side, we would write by Das to reverse the entry wrongly passed on 4th of April 2022. 100. Got it? Are you all getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
As it was a transaction related to current year, we pass the entry in the current year's book in the journal. And then we have to remember that it was passed, but in the next year's book, so in the next year book, in that cash book, debit side it has come as to Das. We nullified by writing on the credit side. This is the rectification to be done. Rashish and Suraj clear?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Note this down, then we go to the next. Can we go to the next?
Yeah, sure.
Next one is return inward book for December was shortcasted by 1000. So shortcasted means what? Less has gone or more has gone?
It's short.
Less has gone or more has gone?
Shortcasted, so less is gone.
Less has gone. Return inward means debit or credit?
Debit.
Inward. Return inwards is sales return.
Correct.
So sales return is always on debit.
So debit. Correct. Both of you are right. It's a debit. Debit 1000 gone less. So now what should we do? We should put that to the debit. So debit, return, inward, account debit. So that way the shortcasting is done. To suspense account. 1000. That's it. Shortcasting of return inward book now rectified. That's it.
Ma'am, purchase of office table will be furniture account, no?
Correct.
So the entry will be furniture account debit to cash or bank account.
That should have been the entry, but it was passed through purchases book. So what went wrong?
So first we credit purchases book, then we debit furniture.
What happened was there was a purchase of office table which is to be debited to furniture account. But as this transaction was passed through the purchase book, it went to the debit of purchases. Purchases means only related to goods, not related to assets. So we have to debit office furniture account which was not debited, and we have to nullify the debit which has gone to purchases by crediting purchases. Correct. Very good. So this is the journal entry. Purchases of furniture wrongly debited to purchases account, now rectified. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Others done? Can I go to the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
Next one is fourth one. Rupees 3750 was the wages which was paid for workmen for making showcases. Now these were charged to wages account. So where should it have been
Showcases for?
showcases in the office probably. They are making showcases in the wall.
Okay, fine. So will this also not come to furniture account?
Yeah, this is also part of furniture. But they are charged to wages account.
So credit wages, debit furniture.
So as wages was paid for creating an asset, the wages should be a part of the cost of that asset. So we should have debited furniture account. But by mistake, they have debited wages account. Wages is the amount paid to the workers for creating the goods. So that debit has to be rectified by giving a credit here. So here, right, wages paid for making showcases wrongly debited to wages account, now rectified. Next one, purchases of 670 was posted to the creditor account as 600. So here there was a purchase of 670. So the journal entry that we would pass would be purchase account debit to creditor account 670. Means the debit would have gone to purchases, credit should have gone to the creditor of 670. But it got posted to creditor 600, which means where is a mistake? Can you identify that mistake?
670 was posted to creditor account.
600.
Ma'am, it's wait.
Ma'am, purchases should have been like debited.
Purchase account to creditor. Okay. So the entry is purchases account debit to creditor.
Yeah.
670 should have. This is journal entry. But was posted to creditor account. When they posted to ledger in the creditor account, they posted it as 600. They should have put how much? 670. But they wrote it as 600. So what has happened here?
So
Correct.
So purchase account has been debited with the right amount.
Right amount. Correct.
So we don't have to do anything.
Correct.
Will it be suspense account debit to creditor account 70?
Correct. Because the problem occurred only in respect of the creditor account. That instead of putting 670 to credit of creditor, you put only 600. So now what you should do? You should put that 70 to make it 670. So you have to credit creditor account with 70. And the other effect is suspense account. Because purchase account has been correctly posted. So, right, creditor account posted less by rupees 70, now rectified. Next transaction is a check of rupees 200 received from Pradeep. So the business received a check from a debtor Pradeep. So we would have gone, the business would have gone and deposited the check into the bank. But when the bank went to collect, the check was dishonored. So we should reverse entry and bring back Pradeep as a debtor in our book. So we should have debited Pradeep and credited bank account. That is a reverse entry when there is a dishonor. But instead of debiting Pradeep, we debited printing and stationery account. So what would be the rectification entry? Who can try?
Check of 200. What is that? Received. Okay.
Received.
Oh. Debited to printing stationery account. So bank account. So what is the actual entry here? It will be
when you
check is
received
received.
bank account debit to Pradeep, you would have passed when you received the check. But when it got dishonored, you should have reversed this entry because you did not receive the amount, no? So you should reverse this entry. This is for dishonor. When you receive bank account debit to Pradeep account, you would pass. As soon as you receive a check, record in the cash book and then send to bank, no? But at the bank, when the bank went to collect, it was not able to collect and it gave you a notification that the check that you gave is dishonored. So immediately you have to pass this
Debited to
dishonored
printing
entry.
and stationery account. So it will be Pradeep account debit to printing and stationery account.
Everybody got that? Clear? Suraj and Rashish.
Yes, ma'am.
Is clear?
Yeah.
Pradeep has to be brought into the books back as a debtor because amount is still receivable from him. So we debit him with that amount. And by mistake, the debit had gone to printing and stationery, which has to be nullified. So we credit printing and stationery account to nullify that debit. Check dishonored, wrongly debited to printing and stationery account. Now rectified. Can we go to the next?
Yes, ma'am.
Next one is rupees 10,000 paid for purchase of a motorcycle. So you're purchasing a motorcycle here. It was debited to miscellaneous expense account. Now
Ma'am.
here this is
Purchase of motorcycle is machinery account.
No. Motorcycle is actually vehicles. But here, there's no clarity here as such whether it is for business use or for personal use. Okay. So this can be for personal use as well. So looking at the solution, I find that they have treated it as for personal use here. They are debited to drawings account. So we assume that this motorcycle has been purchased for personal use. So from the business, he took out 10,000 to pay for the motorcycle, which he is going to use for his personal purpose. So it should have been debited to drawings account. But it got debited to miscellaneous expense. That is why it went to miscellaneous expense.
Ma'am,
This
why
person.
don't we add it to vehicles account again?
We can. But you write a note there. It is assumed that this motorcycle is used for the purpose of business. Purchase for the purpose of business. Then okay.
Okay, fine.
So better write a note there. Because there's no clarity here as such. But because they're saying it is debited to miscellaneous expense, it gives us a doubt that probably it was for personal use. That is why he didn't know where to put it. And that is why he put it into miscellaneous expense account. Because he purchased for personal use. So, drawings account should have been debited, which was not debited. And miscellaneous expense got debited, which is nullified by giving a credit. But if you want to treat it as a business expense, as if he has bought the motorcycle for business purpose, then just write a note under it that you've assumed it that way.
All right.
Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Now let's go to the next one. Eighth one. Eighth one. Oh, sorry. Eighth. It is an amount of 10,000 owed by Deepak. So amount of rupees 10,000 owed by Deepak. So there is a debtor, Deepak, who owed the business 10,000. Was omitted from sundry debtors. So what happened in the trial balance when we prepare, we are going to write sundry debtors, the total of all the debtors together, and attach a list. In that list, we write the individual name of all the debtors and total it up. So while preparing that list of sundry debtors, we forgot to write Deepak's balance of 10,000 there. And that is why when the total of the sundry debtors came into trial balance, it is actually less by 10,000, and that threw up a difference in our trial balance. Getting that?
Yes, ma'am.
So now this has happened. We forgot to write it in the list, and that is why trial balance is not tallying. Now to rectify it, what are we supposed to do? We have to include the 10,000 in the sundry debtors. So sundry debtors has to be debited. The debtors are assets having debit balance, so we debit it to suspense account.
Ma'am, so when a creditor owes money to a company, the journal entry is sundry debtors to cash account.
Debtors. You said creditors or debtors?
They owe money, so they're debtors.
They are debtors, correct. If the business owed money to them, then they are our creditors.
Excuse me. All right.
By this, we are rectifying the sundry debtors list. We are putting this 10,000 into the sundry debtors list. Next one, Daman paid 6,700. So Daman has paid means amount is received. So it is going to be cash or bank account debit to
Daman account.
Daman. So Daman should have been credited 6,700. But her account was wrongly credited with 10,700. So how much went into her account on the credit side? 10,700. More by how much?
That is 4,000.
4,000. So extra 4,000 has gone to the credit. So what should we do to nullify that? We have to
Extra 4,000, sir, has
To
gone
the
to credit.
credit. So we have to
Debit it.
debit. So we debit Daman's account with 4,000. So that 10,700 on the credit, 4,000 the debit, leaves a credit of 6,700, which is the correct amount. The other reference is to suspense. 4,000. The payment of 6,700 rupees by Daman wrongly credited as rupees 10,700, now rectified. That's it. These are the rectification tricks. Now finally, we'll also prepare a suspense account. Once you're done with this, let me know. We'll prepare the suspense account. I'm preparing it here. Now you will have to go through all the entries that you have passed so far and see what are the transactions where suspense account is involved. Before that, you read the question, the second sentence, the trial balance did not match and 14,930 being excess credit. Credit excess means on the debit side we would have written suspense account balance. So we have to write the balance of the suspense account as on March 2022, 31st 2022 to difference in trial balance 14,930 here, and then whatever journal entries you passed, start looking at them. So what's the first entry? First entry was bank to Das. Suspense account is not involved. Go to the next. Return inwards to suspense. So this would come on the credit side. All these entries are passed at the end of the year, 31st March. In the journal proper as a rectification entry. So you would have buy, return, inward account. 1,000. Next, purchase, furniture account debit to purchases account. Suspense account is not involved. Fourth, furniture to wages account. Suspense account is not involved here. Fifth one, suspense to creditor. Suspense to creditor account. 70 rupees. Next, Pradeep to printing and stationery. Skip it. Drawings to miscellaneous expense. Skip it. Sundry debtors to suspense. So it is by sundry debtors account. 10,000. And Daman to suspense. So it is by Daman account. 4,000. Now, done. There is no other transaction. Total it up. 15,000. 15,000. See, you have identified all the errors and rectified it. That is why the suspense account balance got nullified through these rectification entries. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Finish this up and let me know. Then we'll go to the next question.
Yeah.
Now everybody done? We'll go to illustration number 17 on page number 17.29. I've sent the question in the group. Just have a look at that. Question number 17 on page number 17.29. Rectify the following errors identified in the books of Sunil. The trial balance showed 250 as debit excess. Debit excess means when you total debit side, it was showing 250 more. So that 250 difference you would write on the credit side. So when you prepare suspense account here, the difference in trial balance would be written on the credit side of the suspense account. That is what you have to keep in mind. Then the difference has been posted to suspense account. First we'll pass all the journal entries. Total of the debit side of expense account has been cast in excess. So total of debit side of expense account has been cast in excess. Means you have total more or less. How much? 150. Tell me whether you cast more or less. Did you put more 150 or less 150?
On the 1 second. Total of debit side of expense account. So its expenses account has been debited extra with
Extra, correct. Cast in excess means when you total 150 more and put 150 more to the debit side of expense account. Correct, very good. So we have to reduce it. So to reduce it, what should we do to the expense account?
credited.
Credit it. So we credit the expense account and we debit the suspense account. 150. So mistake in casting of expense account now rectified. Next one, sales account has been totaled short by 200. So while totaling the sales account, you totaled it short by 200. So what has happened here? Sales account is showing
Sales account has been totaled short, which means that it has been totaled less than what is
the correct number.
supposed to be.
Correct.
So we debit sales account by 200.
Sales account is a revenue type of account.
Oh,
It has which balance?
credit balance.
Credit balance. So total short means you have to put more
Oh,
into
total
it.
short. So you need to put more into that. So credit. Yeah.
So we should credit sales account. So suspense account debit to
To sales account.
sales account totaled short. Now rectified. Now next one. There was one item of purchase of 25 has been posted from the purchases book to the ledger as 350. So you remember in the purchases book, how do you post? You post the total into debit of purchases. And each individual item you post into the creditors account. The credit.
And to the account, yeah.
So now one item of purchase of 25 has been posted from purchase book to ledger 350 means this is not the total. So this is not related to purchase account. One item of purchase means probably individually posting into creditor account at that point of time. One creditor, there was a purchase of 25 which got posted into creditor's account in ledger as 350. Getting that?
Yes, ma'am.
Individually you post into creditor's account in the ledger. So here they're saying one item of purchase 25 was posted means obviously it is not the total of the purchases book. Therefore, it is not purchase account. It is the creditor's account where there is a mistake. And the mistake is the purchase was 25 rupees. But when they post into ledger, means into the creditor's account in the ledger, they posted as 350. So extra 325 has gone into the creditor's account. So what should we do? Creditor's account, do we debit or credit with the purchases?
Debit.
Creditor's account are debited. What's the journal entry? Purchases account debit to?
No, 1 second. It's 25 rupees, but we posted as 350, right? So we have posted extra.
So creditor's account is debited in the rectification, correct? But I was asking, do we post to the credit or debit of the creditor's account? Usually we post to the credit. So 350 has gone here to the credit. So we have to put only 25 here. So as you said correctly, you have to write to the debit 325. So creditors account debit 325 to suspense account 325. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Others clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Mistake of posting into creditor's account now rectified. Next one. Sales return of 200 from a party has not been posted to that account. So when this is sales return, what is the journal entry that is passed?
For sales return, it's sales return account debit to person account.
Debtor account.
Debtor account. Yeah.
So sales return of 200 was not posted to that account, means it was not posted to sales return account.
Okay, so credit to debtor is correct.
But the party account was credited. That they have done. So problem is only the debit has not gone. So what should we do?
Credit sales return.
What? Think again. This is the correct entry,
Oh, not posted.
but not posted. So what should we do?
Debit only, debit only. Sales return debit to suspense.
Sales return account debit 200 to suspense account, because the party account which was to be credited got credited. Only the debit did not take place. Right? Sales return from a party not posted, now rectified. Next one. Are you all done with this?
Yes.
To the fifth one. A check of rupees 600 was issued to supplier. So when you issue a check to supplier, supplier account debit to bank would be the entry. Shown under sundry creditors towards his dues has been wrongly debited. What they've done? They have wrongly debited to purchases account. So as per the correct entry, supplier account debit to bank account. So debit should have gone to where?
Debit should have gone to supplier account.
Where did it go to?
It went to purchases account.
How to rectify it?
Supplier to purchases.
Supplier or sundry creditors account debit 600 to purchases account. payment to creditor, wrongly debited to purchases account, now rectified. Okay, so let's go to the next. Credit sale of rupees 100 has been credited to sales and also to sundry debtors account. So when there's a credit sale, what is the journal entry?
For credit sale,
Yes,
it's cash or bank account debit to sales account.
credit sale I said. Why cash or bank
But
account?
supplier account, no, not supplier also.
Debtor.
Debtor account debit to sales account.
Correct. So there was a credit sale of 100. It got credited to sales and also to sundry debtors. Sundry debtors also got credited. While posting, you made a mistake. In the debtors account, instead of putting on the debit side, you put it on the credit side.
So it will be, okay, it also got credited to sundry debtors.
Correct.
So debit sundry debtors and put suspense on the credit.
Amount?
Amount 100, no?
No. Why? Because in the sundry debtors account,
Oh.
100 has gone to the credit. We put 100 to nullify this and 100 to create a debit. So it should be for 200.
200. Okay.
Okay. So sales wrongly credited to debtor account, now rectified. That's it, done. We just prepare the suspense account. Prepare the suspense account. Suspense account. So if you look at the question, they say the Traban showed 250 as debit excess. So suspense account, the 250 excess in debit would be written on the credit side. So our suspense account is going to have a credit balance. We will write the date not given, so we leave it as such. Write by difference in trial balance here. And then start looking at each of the entry that you have. First one, suspense to expenses. So to expenses account, 150. Suspense to sales. So write to sales account, 200. Next is supplier to suspense. So it will be by supplier or creditor account. 325. Then sales return to suspense. So it is by sales return account. 200. Then sundry creditors to purchase. Suspense account is not involved here. Last, sundry debtors to suspense. So by sundry debtors account. That is 200. Now if you see here, actually there is still balance left. So it means still there are errors which are to be identified. 975. It's not tally. So the difference is 5 to 625. So we'll write to balance carry down. So still we have to go around tracing the errors and pass in as a rectification entry. Still this suspense account balance is nullified. Got it? Clear everybody?
Yes, ma'am.